Hello, how you doing? This is a bit weird because this is not a normal video and I'm suddenly very aware, what do I even say? This then is just going to be a little video. It's a little bit of a thank you and a Q&A for hitting 1,000 subscribers, although as I record this, we're literally about to break 2,000 subscribers, so it's happened very quickly. We've grown a lot this past month. Literally, it's been crazy. This December has been amazing. I think as soon as I broke 1,000 subscribers, I said let's do a Q&A, and I've only just got around now to doing it because I've been a bit lazy with it. And in fact, if I'm being honest with you, I did forget about it, but we're here now at least. That's the main thing. But now we're hitting nearly 2,000 subscribers, so I guess you can call this a 2K Q&A, something like that. That's got a bit of a nice ring to it, hasn't it? First of all, though, I do want to say thank you though to everyone who has subscribed and things like that. As I said, December's been crazy. To put it in perspective, we started December 1st on 651 subscribers. It's now the 20th of January as I record this, and we're sitting on 1,944. So, big growth, you could say. Big growth in the past 3 weeks, but, you know, who's to judge? So as you can tell by this little thing below me, cheers is in a big bit, because I want to say thank you first to you for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing, everything like that. You know, it's really, it does mean a lot actually, in its weird way. You don't think you really understand it until you hear people say it a lot. It means a lot to me when people get milestones and things like that. And I don't think you really realise how sincere that feeling really is until you're actually doing it yourself. So I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for everything. It gives me a lot of enjoyment and pleasure. So yeah, we'll say that. Right, on to the interesting part then, the Q&A. We had a lot of questions come in. I say a lot. We had a good amount of questions for this coming in. Surprisingly, none from my mum either, which is nice. Not that she would ask me questions, like why would she doesn't watch this stuff? Why would she ask me questions? The first one then, most logical one I should probably go for first, is from The Northman, another YouTuber friend of mine. Makes some great content. I've overtaken him now, so he's wearing the dust. Don't care about him anymore. But I'm lying. I'm joking, Paul. Don't hate me. But no, another great content creator there. So go check him out after this as well. But he asks though, what was my inspiration for YouTube? And basically I fell into this by accident. I was on Facebook one day, scrolling through like videos, and I was watching this particular football video, and you know it does an auto, on the app, on the phone, it does an auto scroll to the next video once you finish that first video. I meant to click back, but I missed the back button, so it auto scrolled onto a Lelujo video on Facebook for whatever reason, and I watched that, thought, oh yes, that's pretty cool. Went on to YouTube to find him, discovered this whole thing going on here, and that was right at the start of FM17. It can't have been. Yeah, it must have been around the start of FM17 because he was at Games with Trinity at the time in his non-League to Legend save, and so I started watching that for a bit. And then it was his New Year. Around New Year, he had a little goal thing saying he wanted more people to make Football Manager content out there, and so I thought, well, why not do it? Let's just do it. So I got my laptop. I bought a microphone, a little headset thing, if you remember it from the first videos and things like that. It sounded awful really, but a little headset, downloaded OBS, and just started making videos, and that's how I did it basically. It was afterwards that I found other people like Dr. Benji and Loki Doki, and then some of these smaller guys as well. So basically I fell into it by accident, and I've not looked back since this past year. So I started in January, and now we've grown to this in December, so that's pretty cool. It then goes on to say, when you started, was it just Football Manager you wanted to do? Which the answer is yes, because I don't know, I just wanted to be in this community, this Football Manager stuff, so that sounded cool to me. And then he said, what are my goals and plans when I started? And I don't think I really had any. I just finished, basically I just got a lot of free time on my hands. I'm at university at the moment in Nottingham. I do history and international relations, and for my first year and my second year, at least half my second year, I was rowing. That was my sport. I'd done it for a few years before university, carried on at university, and I just getting a bit burnt out from it essentially. So I stopped rowing, and that freed up like an awful lot of time, because there's a lot of training goes into that. I was training at least 15 hours a week or so, you know, roughly. Which some weeks it was a lot less, some weeks more, things like that. But we'll say 15 hours or so. And because I stopped that, I suddenly had that much time on my hands and things like that. So I thought I had to do something. Wasn't particularly too fussed about doing another sport right away. So I thought, let's give this a whirl. I'm enjoying watching it. Let's try and make it. So essentially, it was just a full time. That was my plan, and just to do it as a hobby. And I'm still doing that. I don't particularly have any plans or goals right now. I guess now the plan is to get 1 million subscribers, of course, because a Football Manager YouTuber's got to get that at some point, obviously. Essentially, at the start, just have a hobby, have some fun, and it's still that to this day, I suppose, just having fun, doing a little hobby. and just being creative, I suppose, in a way. KyleX8FM then, he asks me, what is your best ever save across the entirety of your Football Manager playing career? And honestly, it could be the first ever one that I ever had, which goes back a long way. The first game I ever played was Championship Manager 2003-2004. Now I'm 20 years old, so when that came out and I started playing it, I was 6 years old. So I've been playing Football Manager since I was 6. Essentially, my dad bought the game, and I think I watched him play it a few times, then he helped me play it and things like that. So I took over as Lincoln and just played with them. I think that first ever save, I was rubbish. I was 6 years old, so obviously I was rubbish. But I remember just having so much fun doing it. And of course, I played it to death. I started new saves and things like that. A lot of the time with Lincoln as well. But that first ever save, I just remember I signed, what's his name now? Roberto Baggio. He was in the game on FM, or Championship Manager 3-4. And he was obviously very old. And I signed him for Lincoln City in League One when I was surviving relegation, basically. And the only reason I remember that, though, is because I said to my dad, I signed this guy. Is he any good, do you reckon? And it turned out he'd won. Obviously, I didn't know it at the time, I was 6 years old, but he'd obviously Player of the Year at some point and things like World Player of the Year. He'd won the Ballon d'Or, things like that, equivalent to Ballon d'Or back then. So for him to sign for Lincoln City in League One at that point, or the old Division 2 as it was, I mean, that's a good signing. I think that's one of the best signings I've ever made, I think, actually. Kangar FM, another great YouTuber out there, go check him out as well. He asked me, how many badgers can you fight? Now, I've had to put a lot of thought into this, essentially, because, you know, you've got to take into consideration the weight of the badger, the age of the badger, its temperament, all that kind of stuff. But if I narrow my calculations down, I reckon I could take on at least 32 before becoming overcome by badgers. It also depends if they've got tuberculosis or not, TB, because, you know, if I get bitten by one of those, then I'm a goner. So, yeah, I reckon about 32 is what we'll go for there. Knock It Wide asks me, what is the best goal you have ever seen? And there is only one answer to that. I will point you in a direction. I will link it up here in there. I think it's probably there, I think. Basically, I'm a Lincoln City fan, which is actually one of the questions. So I do apologise to whoever asked me who I supported. I've ruined your question there. I've got it written down on this piece of paper here. That's why I'm looking. Or maybe I don't have it written down. I don't know. We'll ignore that anyway. But someone asked me definitely who I support. The answer is Lincoln City, of course. And essentially, the best goal I've ever seen is when we played away to Grimsby Town, our local rivals, essentially. That's the biggest game of the season. We won the game 3-1, which obviously is great, winning against the rivals in their own stadium. But Charlie Adams was on loan from Birmingham at the time. I don't know if he's still there or not. He's called Charlie Adams, this young guy, central midfielder. We get a corner. Just before that, actually, there's a volley from our left back who nearly scores. And it was if that had gone in, that would have been the best goal I've ever seen. However, his shot was saved, went out for a corner. The corner comes in, it's headed clear, and then Charlie Adams volleys it from about 30, 35 yards, top corner. Honestly, the best goal I've ever seen in my life, and that will stay with me for the rest of my life, seeing that and witnessing that. Honestly, I get goosebumps when I watch it, which is weird, but should I admit that? I get that, so yeah. We'll brush over that one now, we'll move on quickly. The Don Gaming also asks me a question. A bit of an insult with Swan. He says, can you grow a beard? How do I answer that? Ryan Ward then asks me, what player is a legend to you? And I'm going to say 2 players, I think. Both of them for Lincoln, but one's real. In fact, they're both real, but one didn't actually play for Lincoln. The first one is Simon Yeo. He is an actual football player who played for Lincoln. Honestly, he's a cult hero at Lincoln. He was just sick, you know. He was really good. Scored bags of goals in 2 different spells for us. Didn't even stay that long, I don't think, particularly. But he was there twice. Scored lots of goals and was... Honestly, if I could shake his hand now, I would. He is an absolute legend. I love him to bits just for what he did when I was younger. He was a player I really looked up to. Because when I used to play when I was younger, I was a striker. So he was the type of player that I wanted to emulate in a way. So whereas nowadays people will look at, I don't know, like Messi or something like that. Young kids will look at Messi or Rooney or something. Who's looking at Rooney now? Jesus Christ, who am I thinking about? But back then I was looking at Simon Yeo and thinking he's a great player. So that is the first legend of mine. I guess number 2, we'll add a third one in, or fourth, because Danny and Nicky Cowley, the current managers, have absolutely transformed Lincoln City around. They are, honestly, they're not just great football managers, they're 2 of the nicest guys you could ever meet as well. Not that I've ever met them, but the way they come across, they are absolutely terrific, top-class guys. They've done an awful lot for Lincoln and the city and things like that. So because I love Lincoln as well as my hometown and the club, I thank them a lot for that. And they're going to go a long way in football. I really, really do think they'll be right at the top level in the future, managing Premier League teams, like top Premier League teams, Man City's, Arsenal's, Chelsea's, whatever, you name it. They'll be there, I think, in the future. And then my fourth legend, in a way, is a guy called Ryan Wilkie. I don't think anyone's ever heard of him unless you're a proper Celtic nerd. Essentially, Championship manager 2003-2004. I signed this right midfielder, or was he left midfielder? Left midfielder, definitely. I think he signed from. I think he just moved to Liverpool for a year, and I signed him from Liverpool after he'd been at Celtic as a junior for quite a while, youth player. I signed him for Lincoln, and he became the best player in the world. He literally was sick. He won Player of the Year after year after year. Honestly, I can't explain it. He is the best player in the world, and I never saw his name in like anything. So I looked him up like a few years ago to see what he did. It turned out he never made a football career for himself, and he's now like a youth coach or youth scout at Celtic. So in reality, he's done nothing in terms of actual football playing and things like that. But for me, in that game, the best player in the world. He literally was the best player in the world. So I'd love it if actually, I could somehow get in contact with him and just say thank you. If anyone knows how to do that at Celtic, if anyone got connections at Celtic, please do let me know and try and get me in contact with Ryan Wilkie, because I'd love to get an autograph or something, which sounds weird, but I'd love it. So would my dad as well, because my dad had him as well. So yeah, if anyone knows how to do that, let me know, please. Cookie6994, another great YouTuber out there as well, go check him out as well, asked me cat or dog. And if you know anything about me and you watch a channel and you've seen videos, you'll know the answer is dog. There's been dogs in these videos. The tactical dog was there. The tactical dog should be back soon, I think. I'm dog sitting again for a little bit, so tactical dog should be back relatively soon. Also, dogs are just nicer than cats as well, and I've also grown up around dogs and things like that, so it's got to be dogs. And then the final two questions come from Chris P FM, and he has asked me, what is my favourite series that I've done on YouTube and how much success did it bring me? That's his first one of his questions. The favourite one I'm doing at the moment is Lincoln one. My advice to anyone who's doing YouTube and starting out, maybe not start with the club you support, because you want to try and get... I would have started with Lincoln, but I wanted to actually be good first before I did my own club. So I wanted to know what I was doing and things like that. I didn't want to do Lincoln and be rubbish. I wanted to do Lincoln as a save and actually be half decent, for example, and get views. But the best series I've done is the Lincoln one, purely because it's the team I support, and I think that comes across in videos as passion and things like that, so I think that's better. Other than that, though, the favourite one I did I think it's probably the Red Star one I did. I went into that thinking, no one's ever done Red Star on YouTube before. Made the first video and things like that, put it up, and then realised everyone has done Red Star on YouTube. But I carried on with it. But that was a really, really enjoyable save. I loved that. At the time, that was the most watched thing on my channel, which was really good. The first video on that is still one of the most popular Let's Play videos that I've done, actually. That's got way over 1,000 views and things like that. So that was always good, nice to see. I did really, really enjoy that. But equally, I did really, really enjoy the Minnesota United save I did as well, the MLS one. I really, really did like that. Started that right when the MLS season started, thinking, I'm going to blow up. Everyone watching MLS is going to watch me. Didn't happen, obviously. I don't think it might have been as successful as Red Star, but probably not quite as successful. No one's ever heard of Minnesota United because they're a brand new team and things like that. So, but I really did enjoy that save. That was good, especially to learn all the new MLS rules and things like that. So that was nice. He then also asks, what is my most successful series or video? I think you will know what the most successful video is. You probably watched it. That's why you're here. It's the Wales billionaire experiment. That was a really, really good one, actually. That was what has blown me up this past month. That is the reason why I'm sitting now on nearly 2,000 subscribers. That particular, it's nearly 30,000 views, which is crazy. So yeah, experiments make up a big part of my channel, actually. I did them. There's actually a question about this. Another one from the Northman. He's asked me a few questions. The Northman did say, actually, what is your inspiration for the experiments you've been doing as well? And I think I started them essentially because I just noticed that other YouTubers were doing experiments and getting tons and tons of views on them. So I thought, let's have a go at that one. Jen Caldo is the experiment man, of course, and obviously his channel blew up with all the experiments last year and things like that. I was on 10,000 plus now, I think, subscriber-wise, so he blew up from the experiments. So I thought, well, if he's doing that well, let's have a go at an experiment and things like that. And here we go. A similar sort of, well, not quite as successful, obviously, because he's doing very well for himself, but it's had a similar degree of success to me. So that was kind of my thinking behind doing experiments, and I'll keep doing them because they are really interesting. I like them. and people watch them, and that's the main thing for me. I like people watching my videos. That's motivation for me. So they were all the questions that I was given. If you've got any more, post them in the comments and I'll reply to them and things like that. But thank you to everyone who did submit questions. That was really nice. I do appreciate that you've taken time to ask me a question and things like that. So I do appreciate it. Now it's time to move on to the future plans. So there's a few little things I want to talk to you about and just get your feedback on, basically. Future plan wise, obviously, carry on with Lincoln City for quite a while in terms of the main series and things like that. It's probably a long way off till we go to like a new series and things like that, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But as initial feelers out there, would you want me to do a big team or a small team? Would you want to do an English team or a foreign team, things like that? So let me know your feedback on that, because that'll be interesting. I might do a little vote and things like that, just see what people say. But that would be really interesting if you just comment telling me below kind of where you want me to go. Specific teams if you want, but generally like just general at the moment, that'd be good for me as well. I do appreciate that. Experiments will still be coming as well. The billionaire stuff is still going on. The Irish one came out the other day, could have been yesterday, depends on when I upload this. But you know, the billionaire ones will keep coming. I've still got some ideas for other experiments I want to do at some point as well. So I'll be doing those soon. We'll have a little break from the billionaire and then do 1 or 2 different experiments, things like that, and then go back to it. So experiment wise, they'll still be coming on Wednesdays and Sundays. That's how when I do it. The other days of the week are the Lincoln ones, so that's how it's going at the moment on the channel. The next thing I want to talk to you about is merchandise, basically merchandise. Now, it's something I want to say almost reluctant, because this growth has happened so quickly. I don't feel like I'm in a place to be offering merchandise and things like that. But there's people around my subscriber number level that do it, and smaller as well, things like that. So I wouldn't be adverse to doing merchandise, but I'd like to know what you want. In my mind, I would never buy YouTube merch purely because a lot of them is just like their username massively printed on like it could be like this. This is just a standard design t-shirt, but they'd have like their username. So rather than it saying 1956 Golf Edition, it would just be like XXX no scopes 69 XXX. That would be the username on there, and it would be big and it would be like obvious. If I was going to do it, if I was going to do the merch with my branding on it, I'd have it like imagine that just the cow, the bull. Just imagine just that. I'd have little like TomFM just there, like a little plain t-shirt, looking smart, and having a little casual TomFM, just a slightly bit of branding. If I even did a TomFM bit on there, it could be like a football. I don't know. But essentially, that's what I'm thinking merch-wise. I don't want to do something that's just got my name plastered on it in big letters, because I don't think that looks good enough. I want to have something that looks smart, you could wear just casually, really casually, like under a shirt, or I want to wear something that I'd wear, basically. That's what I'm making out. So I normally wear like plain t-shirts with a little logo there or something like that, or just plain as it is. So I want to make stuff that I would wear myself, and I think that you'd wear. So that's my thinking there. Of course, leave suggestions down below if you have ideas for other t-shirt designs and things like that. And of course, actually, let me know if you'd actually buy it, because there's no point me doing it if no one's going to buy it. So let me know that as well. That'd be great as well. And I think that just about wraps things up for me now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We've had a lot of stuff going on, Q&A, little thank yous, and there's future plans and whatever. So let me know down below what you think of the future plans. Let me know some questions if you've got questions that you didn't get a chance to ask. Let me know and I'll reply to them. And I think that is just about everything covered. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, because it was a nice one to do this, actually. A nice little refreshing thing to do something a bit different. So I've enjoyed this. Make sure you do drop a like on the video, though. Subscribe if you're new around here for more football action, basically. It's all football on this channel. Football manager, obviously. So yeah, just thank you. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.